What's going on, guys? So you bought yourself a pinball machine, did you? You've got one. Congratulations! Now it's up to you to maintain that pinball machine. You can't just have a machine and just play it over and over again and expect it to go on forever without having some maintenance. And one of the main things I need to tell you how to do is how to clean and wax your machine. Even with the glass on your game, you're gonna get dust, you're gonna get a bunch of dirt and grime, and the ball is gonna trail and run that dirt even further across your playfield. And eventually, the more and more that you drive over that dirt and grime, the further that dirt's gonna get dug into the playfield, and the clear coat or the wood, and eventually the paint, and then all you see is bare wood, and it looks like someone has just taken a sander and just sanded on the playfield. That's why a lot of the older games that you tend to see either on locations or people even own is like around the flipper area, especially the lower playfield right above the flippers. That will be the most worn area for a pinball machine, because that is where the ball is consistently stopping and going whenever the flipper hits the ball. And that stopping and going of spinning of the ball wears more and more on the playfield and eventually wears off the paint to where you're down to the bare wood. So I highly recommend that you make your own schedule and routinely set up to where you can clean and wax your machine accordingly to how often you play. This is not something that you do every 30 days. It's like basically how often your game is played, just by a visual inspection, or set up a routine thing. On pinside.com, if you're not already a Pinside member and own a pinball machine, I highly recommend you do that, because even on Pinside there are ways that you can set up routine and keep track of what you've done to your machine when it comes to maintenance logs. How often you've changed the rubbers, how often you've done a cleaning, how often you've changed the batteries. It will even notify you whenever you need to change the batteries, which I want to say is every 12 months, I think is whenever it's set up for. So upon deciding what game I was going to use as the primary subject when it comes to this, I had to go through my collection back here and figure out which one I wanted to use. And by far the one that looks the dirtiest and would be the best option for this video is, I'm going to say, World Cup Soccer. So there we go, we've dwindled it down to just World Cup Soccer. So let's pull this baby out and let's get started, guys. Okay guys, so here's the playfield, and I want to go over the main areas and things to look for when you're trying to see if you need to clean your machine. So let's start with the flipper area. These flippers are basically medium grade when it comes to how dirty they can be. This is just casual play. This is not that bad, but this is actually the worst of all my machines right now. So going across, you'll see the next thing to look for are the Sling Shots. These tend to be a lot of wear area as well. All your other rubbers that go around the playfield, we're just going to show you some certain key points. And for this particular machine, you can see the soccer ball could use a little bit of TLC as well. Then you have some of your targets that need to be hit. Right here around the goalie area, there's a lot of traction that gets picked up as well. And also one of your main areas is in the middle of your pop bumpers. Most machines have Mylar in between that because that is a high traffic area. So you shouldn't have to worry too much about the playfield damage, but you still need to keep that area clean because that's where a lot of dust will accumulate. It's difficult to tell in the video, but the white area does have a lot of like a brownish and a blackish tint to it. It's nowhere near as bright as it can be and as it should be. So hopefully after this cleaning, we'll get it back to where it used to be. Some of the items that you will be using is naphtha. Now, naphtha is a solvent chemical that dries very quickly, guys. So this is something that is very good to use because whenever you wipe down your rubbers or your playfield, it evaporates and goes away. There's no worrisome about whether or not it's going to soak into the wood or into the playfield or wherever you want to say. So it's a really good thing to use because it gets rid of the dirt and grime a lot quickly and it dries, so there's no worrisome about it going into your machine. Next up is this mill wax for playfield. This is a particular design for actual pinball machines. Now this wax you can purchase, I believe, on Margo. I've had it for years. I actually need to use the rest of this because I'm pretty sure that it may be going bad. I don't know about it going bad, but it's not as thick as it used to be, and that's probably because it's been out in the weather in my garage and heat, moisture maybe has gotten to it, but it still works and does its job. This next product is Showcar Glaze. It's a mirror glaze. It's a really nice polish. Now this is optional, guys. You don't really need to use this, but I'm going to use it because it gives it an extra little protection and it makes it shine a little bit more. This is actually an item that you want to use whenever you clear coat your machine or clear coat your playfield, but that's for a whole nother advanced video on that. Tire wet, black magic. I can already hear some of the people spouting out stuff right here, so let me go ahead and tell you, I'm not putting this on the playfield. This is actually going to be going on to basically whatever the ball does not touch. So this is going to be going on top of the plastics, over the plastics, around the area, but not directly on my playfield. This product gives everything a nice shiny look. It's basically makes everything just look brand new. It's really, really pleasing to the eye. You'll see the finished product. And then you have your basic glass cleaner, and I've got the glass cleaner actually diluted even further than how it comes, and I'm only going to be using the glass cleaner on like the back glass, or translite rather, and the playfield glass itself. And of course, microfiber towels, best thing you can use. I'm gonna start out by getting this towel all folded up, and I'm gonna use just a little bit of naphtha, and then I'm gonna just start going around. And I'm not even applying that much pressure, guys. I'm actually just kind of applying just a little bit of pressure, but I'm not using that much muscle at all. I'm letting the chemical do its job and get away all of the dirt and grime that's underneath and on the playfield. I'm just going in small circles. If I see that there's more dirt and grime in one particular area, I'm going to spend a little bit more time in that area. If I feel like the naphtha's already been evaporated, then I'm going to put some more naphtha like I do right here, and I'll go right back to where I was and continue going around, usually in little bitty circles or back and forth motion. And you want to definitely get around the flipper area, and do not forget to actually get in any kind of small tight area that you can reach. This is just a basic cleaning, guys. I'm not going to go into the depth of disassembling the playfield, removing certain portions to get to certain areas. This is just a routine, quick thing to do. If you want to break down your playfield to get even further in the deep, I applaud you, go right ahead. But as of this machine, it's not even that dirty, so I'm only going to do the basic of basic. You want to put a lot of focus around your in lane and your out lanes, guys. This is where the ball is going to be traveling the most. Your ball will be going through the in lane and out lane more than it will be going around your orbits. I mean, look at the grime on the in lane right here. This is picked up throughout the playfield, or even in your trough area, and then I'm gonna get even closer around the Sling Shots, but that just it eats it away. Now, if you want to go even a step further, guys, you can get a magic eraser and use the naphtha, and that's 2 with 1 shot. But you want to be very careful with the magic eraser. Do not apply too much pressure, and do not overuse it, because it does and it will tear away the playfield if you use it too much. Do not forget to get under your flippers, guys. That is also another area that needs to be cleaned. So here's the soccer ball after I gave it a nice little cleaning. I think it looks a lot better, but you can even see this has actually been worn into the rubber right here. That's pretty deep. And I got between the pop bumpers over here. Got that all nice and cleaned up as well. And watch how easily this comes off with a little bit of naphtha, guys. The dirt just disappears. It's amazing. These are actually Titan pinball rubbers. I can't guarantee you how well it comes off with just regular rubbers, because all my machines have Titan on them. Try it yourself. Let me know about it. just melts that dirt right away with ease. I'm not even applying that much pressure. It's just like, just comes off. I love it. Something I do with my Sling Shots, guys, is after I get finished wiping in the main area, I actually move the rubbers without taking off the plastics or anything and stretch them around to kind of give the rubbers a little bit of a rotation, if you will. And that helps the longevity of your rubbers as well, so they're not having the same points applied pressure at all times. Don't forget your post rubbers. These are also very important because you're going to be hitting those quite a lot as well. And then, of course, any kind of target. And then your orbits, guys. Don't forget to get both sides of that. I'm going to be getting both sides of mine, obviously, but that's another area where the ball will be making contact. Anything the ball touches needs to be clean. Especially around your pop bumpers, around right here, the lips to activate the pop bumpers, you want to get those. And then the wire rails, we'll get every portion of that all wiped down. And then the hard to reach places too. The ball in this machine goes through there. And one of your most important, dirtiest part is the shooter lane and the shooter rod rubber. Do not forget that. Now on to the wax. Now the center of the playfield, I'm just gonna just pour it on there because that's a very big wide open area, and then I can just basically pour a little bit of dab on there. And I'm going to use a different microfiber towel, guys. Always, anytime you're using a different chemical than what you've used before, use a different towel. So I will be spreading this around, small circular motions all around the entire playfield. This is something that you don't need to apply pressure to either, guys. You're basically putting a little protective layer over your playfield to keep the ball from eating directly at what the next level is. This is basically a buffer. So once again, I'm going around the basic of basic, whatever I can reach without disassembling the playfield. I apply the wax directly to the towel before I go into small areas. I'm not going to just be squirting this wax anywhere I think I can reach. I put it directly on the towel and then I apply it via the towel to the playfield. You don't want to accidentally squirt wax somewhere where you can't reach it, and then you got to disassemble things to get to it. Because after a time, when the air activates the wax, it basically turns into a hard, crusty thing that eventually can start breaking into brittle pieces, and then it gets all over the playfield. It makes a big mess. So whatever wax that you put on the playfield, you want to make sure you get it all polished up. After you've applied the wax, you want to wait about 5 to 10 minutes or whenever you get a nice little hazy look of wax. And then, using the other portion of the same towel if you want to, or you can use a new one, and just lightly, like feather over the wax, guys, just to get rid of the haze. The towel's doing more work than my arm. I'm not applying barely any pressure. I'm just kind of just feathering over the playfield and the wax to get it to bring a nice shine. Anywhere I can reach, I'm going to be feathering over to get the playfield nice and shiny again. Now, rotate the towel around also. That's something, if you've ever waxed a car, it's pretty much the same thing you want to do here, guys. Rotate the towel around so the towel is all nice and dry with no other chemicals on it or other wax to keep giving it a nice clear look. Getting as far into the end lanes as I can. And at some point right here, I'm going to be testing to make sure that my playfield is nice and slick. I'm basically going to toss the towel around. See how well it slides? That's me just barely applying any kind of pushing pressure and it doing its best. If I feel like there's any kind of like hold up at all, that means I probably missed a little bit of wax. So I'm going to continue to rub it away, get it all nice and polished up. And I almost forgot the pop bumper area, but I remembered. Got that all nice and dry and waxed and polished up as well. On to the optional item to use, guys. Basically, I'm just gonna put a second layer of wax on the machine. Once again, same way, big old glob in the center of the playfield where there's nothing that's in the way, and then I'll do the same thing I did earlier. I'll apply a coat over the entire playfield area, let it haze over, and then I'll feather away again to give it even more of a protective layer. And once again, guys, especially since I've already applied one layer of wax, I'm not applying any pressure while I'm doing this. I'm basically just letting the weight of the towel do all the work. Just gonna go over everything once again, just like I did earlier. Slide the towel around and make sure it's still all nice and silky and smooth. So here we are, guys, going over it just to show you what it looks like after just doing a cleaning and waxing on the playfield. Looks all nice and clean. The whites are all nice and bright and shiny again. Now it's time for the tire wet stuff. I've just sprayed a couple of times directly on the towel. Do not spray this on the playfield or towards the playfield. Only spray it away from the machine onto the towel so you don't accidentally wax up something you shouldn't. I'm applying it to all my plastics, guys. Anything the ball doesn't touch, I'm gonna give it a nice little glaze over. Basically apply a lot of it, and then just like you did with the playfield, kind of go over it. Like right here, I'm gonna do the soccer ball just to show you the difference that it makes. Like, holy crap, that might be a little bit too shiny. Let's tame it down a little bit. There, went over it with a towel, the dry end of it, and gave it a nice shine, but not like, you know, glass. We don't want that. That's too much. So, like I said, just go over everything, all the plastics that the ball doesn't normally hit. Give it a nice little dry portion of the towel over. Gives everything a nice little glossy look to it. And the coin door, guys, this is something I love to get all nice and polished up using the tire wet as well. Just go over the entire coin door, and then bam, nice and shiny and reflective, and the light makes it look good. And here we are, guys, finished product. Machine looks damn good, if I have to say so myself. And then you can do your cabinet, guys. Make that cabinet look really good. Now, I can't vouch for how well it would do for painted on cabinets, but for decals like this, it's gonna do good. Now for the cleaner for glass cleaner. Spray directly onto the napkin, and just gonna wipe everything down. Getting the light just right so you make sure you don't have any streaks, and then get around the DMD or anywhere else that there's glass. But don't spray directly onto the glass, guys. Always spray onto the napkin or whatever you're going to be using a microfiber towel. And let's get this baby all jacked and put back into place. And we are done. Finished product, all right back in its place. Took maybe an hour. I don't know. I didn't keep count. Probably a little slower since I was doing the recording process. But other than that, this thing is ready to go for another 500 games plus at least. Once again, guys, this is something that you're gonna do just when your machine needs it. There is no particular day or time to do it. It's whenever you feel that the machine needs it by visual inspection. This is one of the many ways to keep your machine going for years upon years. And that's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. Please subscribe and hit that little bell button. That way you get notified of whenever I post new things for you to see. I'm gonna be doing all kinds of different things, whether it be how-tos with repair or diagnostics, like more cleaning videos, discussions, or certain things. You never know, I might post something that you may need to know about, so don't forget to subscribe. Before you go, like this video and leave me a comment down there. Do you clean your machine a different way? Is there a better way to go about doing it? Let me know down below. Until next time, guys, peace out.